Okay, hi everybody. Bear with me, I've broken the leg off on my phone holder. I'm just doing a refresher video on how to get the base off the Morphy Richards iron. So loads of people, although they watch the videos, they don't watch the videos. So just a quick refresher on dismantling the base of the iron. Now this iron has got problems with, it'll only descale for about 10 seconds and then it moves off the descaling program. So I think the diaphragm rubber is stuck again. Right, now to get the base off, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. Now the one everyone forgets about, when you take your water reservoir out, there's a screw just in the top of there. Now luckily I've got a nice long screwdriver. You can use a stumpy screwdriver to get in there. It's difficult. It's an average size screwdriver. It's too long that way, too short that way. So I just happen to have this massive big long screwdriver that will fit up in there. To whip that last screw out. Now that's the one that everyone forgets, and that's the one that if you forget that one, you can break the front of the unit because this plastic here is quite fragile. So if it's holding, just double check that you've undone all the screws. Obviously make sure you're unplugged at this stage and the iron is cold. Now in the control panel here there's a couple of guides, so it tends to grip a little bit on that when you take it off. Feels to me as if I've got a screw that's not quite undone. Yeah. So right, when you take it off, bear in mind if you've got it upside down, there's these little white. Now they sit on top of the screw holes and they support the upper casing. So just bear in mind as you lift it off, if you've got it turned upside down, they'll drop off and you won't know where they'll go. So if you can try and get it off in the upright position, everything stays where it is. Now that's the top casing off. Now what you need to do is lift that up, check your area for screws. So a couple of them will stay in. That one there's in there, that one there's in there. Okay, right. Still on video. Now the only two problems, I get loads of questions. I'm not an electrician. The only pieces I've changed in this iron, of all the problems I've had, is these two units. This is the one that seems to be the descaling issues because of the rubber, the little rubber. There's a piston in there that goes in and out when that solenoid opens and shuts, and the rubber gets stuck in with calcium. So this is the piece. I've cleaned that rubber up and I've changed this with one of my spare irons. This one, I can't remember what the fault was with that. I only changed that once. I think that was with an iron that wouldn't steam. But you'd have to check my videos on that. But that is the only, when I'm talking about the black solenoid and the red solenoid, that's what I'm talking about. All of that stuff there, I've never had any issues with. So let's just take this off. Make sure you support the iron. Big spanner. See, comes off. That washer comes off. Normally drops in the bottom. Just slide that out. Now you've got this massive big nut here. So again, support the steam unit. Just crack that. normally, once you've cracked it, it comes off. Right, now if you can look there, let me zoom in. Now, that is the holder for this piston to slide up and down. Now normally when you pull this out, it leaves the rubber behind. Like there, see? The rubber just fits on the end of there. So the rubber's in there. There's a washer. And that rubber grommet. So I need to just put the phone back, and I'll get my small screwdriver. Bear with me. Now you have to be really careful, glasses up. If you're using a small screwdriver, you don't want to penetrate this rubber, because then you are in trouble. So stick the edge of your screwdriver in that washer, pop her out. Remember the order, these are all going back in. Now this is the bit you've just got to be a little bit careful. It's better to come at it at the edge than in the middle. You can see what I mean by this rubber getting stuck. This is really stuck. There you go, squirt of water. Yeah, she's out now. She was really stuck. So put this one back on. So you just make sure she's back on there. There you go. Now looking in there, I think this is just a case of, you can see, if I just get something to pop with, this is what I'm looking at here, is there's a hole there, and that's the hole where it pushes it out, draws it in, where it flushes the tank out. But normally you can see big lumps of calcium in there. I don't think that is blocked. I think it was just the fact the rubber was stuck. I think with all the, you know, you've only got to have a long period between these scales where you're not using the iron, and the rubber will stick. So really, you can see that rubber needs to be moving in and out. And the fact that it was stuck on that face, I think that's what stopped it descaling. So, I put that back on without the washer. Did you see that mistake? So the washer goes on first, and then the rubber goes on. Okay, so that then slides in and out. So what you've got is there must be an electrical pulse in there which pulls that backwards and forwards to allow the descaling to go on, and the steam. So when that rubber is stuck against that face, that's your issue. Okay, so put that back in. You have to hold that spring, it's quite strong, and that's probably why the rubber gets stuck. Support the steam unit again, adjust your spanner. That wants to be FT, if you know what that means. Super tight. So, solenoid goes back on, clicks in place, washer, nut. So potentially 15 minutes work, and you've saved yourself 150 quid. Right, these hoses go in. These hoses go in the front of there. That in there like that. Ah, hold on, they go right down. There's a recess for those. The question is, where did that one come from? I might have to look at one of my own videos to find out where this hose came from. Right guys, I think it came... I'm going to have to watch one of my videos to see where this came, or look back at my photos I took to see where that one comes from. I think that is, it fits somewhere where it takes the water out of the tank. So I'm going to have to sign off now, because I'm going to have to look back at my own pictures to find out where that one goes back in. But that's the dismantling video update, because some of my videos have been on there quite a long time now. Where's that one go? Goes over here. So it goes underneath that one. Oh my god, it's all going wrong. That one fits in there. It's quite obvious really. This is why I say about taking pictures when you take it apart. And then you can put it all back together the same way as it came out. Where the hell did that come from? Right, I don't need to show you it going back together. So it's just a Morphy Richards update. Okay, bye.